What advice would you have to business owners during these next 6 to 24 months to prepare for if interest rates are going to go way up? If you could think this is going to go up in a big way, how should I prepare no matter what level I'm at, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million? What should I be doing?
So let me tell you what we're doing at Briefs Media, because we have a newsletter company. You talked about
Yes.
Market Briefs. That's one of our newsletters. We have Business Briefs, and we have a Spanish newsletter as well. So we have a newsletter company. It's free to consumers. So if you want to stay up to date on what's happening in the news, you can go to Market Briefs, briefs.co. But we are an advertiser-supported business, which means that we rely on other businesses to pay us so we can continue to give these newsletters for free. Now, if we look at history, because I love reading books, especially biographies, and what we see happen is anytime we see a recession, the first thing that businesses cut are their advertising dollars. So who does that affect? Companies like mine. And so I'm reading this and I'm seeing what's happening in the economy. And what we've been doing is over the last number of months is we've been working to build up a cash pile to protect us against whatever might happen. And also working to pivot of what can we do to make sure that we can self-support ourselves. So that's when we also officially launched Market Insiders, which is kind of like a sister company to Briefs Media, which is our education platform, which is where now if you want to learn more about how to invest your money into the real estate market, how do you invest your money into stocks, how do you actually build your wealth and manage your money, how do you, the actual education of the investing, now we can service our own readers with that education. It's the app. You you can do it on your phone. We have a web platform. So that's marketinsiders.com that we created as a way to surface our briefers, especially with what's going on in the economy, because now we are now kind of diversifying how we're generating revenue. So that's what we're doing. It's to protect yourself against what could happen, building the cash piles, and then making sure you have more than one stream of income.
By not just relying on advertisers, but also being able to provide a service or course or program to be able to sell direct to your audience.
Something that will provide more value to your audience or your customers itself.
Yeah.
And so this was a direct integration for us because people are now reading what's going on in the news. Hey, if you want to know how to invest, well, we have an app that can help you with that as well. Mm-hmm. So it's knowing what can serve your customers in the best way possible.
Right. Okay. So that's what businesses should be thinking about.
Businesses should be prepared for anything. And look, if nothing bad happens, if the economy continues to boom, hey, you have some extra cash, now you can go and hire more employees. You can go to Disney World. You can go and take your employees somewhere fun.
Exactly.
So, it's there's no cost to preparing, but there's a huge cost if you don't prepare.
That's true.
That's
true.
the main thing that you need to understand. So going back to active investing, right?
Yes.
So we talked about real estate, which is one way. Stock market.
But first off,
yeah.
how do you set yourself up for success to not be an extra job investing in your real estate now? If you're spending 30% of your time on an asset that's causing stress, energy, you having to go there, you having to fix it, calling the contractors, more investing to fix things up.
Yeah.
Like, how do you make sure you find the right properties, and what are those properties you look for?
So I think we got past the first part, which is I want the 7% cash and cash return.
You said you're looking for
the growing
locations with growing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I think that's where we left off. We had a little bit of a tangent. So I want an area that is growing. I want to see businesses moving in, and people spend thousands of dollars to research, like where are people going, where are the trends. I can give you a $10 tip that will give you that same level of analysis, maybe even better. Go to the neighborhood where you want to potentially invest. Go to a local coffee shop, buy a cup of coffee, sit down with the barista and ask them, hey, I'm thinking about moving in here. Do you live here in this area? And see what they say. If they live there, now you have a conversation with them. And they will tell you what's happening. Crime is increasing. I love the area. Restaurants are moving in. I'm thinking about moving out. And that will give you a gauge of what's going on from somebody that's actually living there. Talk to 2 or 3 different people. If you see these 2 or 3 people talk about how much they love this area because there's new restaurants coming in, there's more nightlife coming in, there's more cool things happening, people want to work there, people want to live there, now you have your info telling you that this is a cool area.
Okay. And then when you see the environment is set up for thriving success.
Yeah.
And you see those measures, what type of properties do you look for?
So for me, I like residential, which could mean for me, whether it's single family or apartment complex. whatever's going to give me at least a 7% cash
Yeah.
on cash return. I look for value add deals, meaning if it's a single family home, most people will walk into it and walk right back out. It's got holes in the walls. It smells like crap. The carpet is not there. It's got a lot of issues. So I have a team now over the years that I've been able to build up that we can do the renovations. If it's a apartment complex, I like distressed deals. These are typically apartment complexes now that somebody bought a property and they didn't know how to manage it. And now the tenants are not paying rent. It's half vacant. It's got a lot of issues. It doesn't look good. I can come in and I can fix up this property, make it look beautiful, fix the neighborhood, make people want to walk by this area and build a property now where people want to live.
So you look for broken down places.
I like those deals.
You like when people shy away from, you like going in because you know you have a team that can support you in fixing it up, adding value and equity to the
Minority
property.
mindset, baby. Do what everyone else is not doing, right?
Exactly. And then, so you're willing to get dirty, but you've got a team that supports you in doing that.
Yeah, and that took time to build, right? And I talk about, because you're asking now, how do you do it without putting your time in? I don't have an answer because I put the time in.
Yes.
And look, a lot of people are looking for shortcuts to do things. There isn't always a shortcut. Sometimes you just got to put in the work, put in the hours, lose some sleep, and do the things that are hard because we try to desensitize ourselves from a lot of pain. But look, sometimes you can't. Pain creates wisdom. And sometimes you have to be willing to go through that. And so, when you say, how do you do it without putting that work? I put in a lot of work, which is why now I have the teams in place that makes it much more passive for me, where I can text my contractors. I can text 2 or 3 guys and say, hey, look, I'm buying this property. Here's the code. Can you go through it? Here's what I want to do. Let me know what your cost will be. Now I got a few different options.
Right.
I tell my property inspector, hey, I'm looking at buying this property. Let's go meet at this property. I tell my property manager, they're going to give me comps of what they think we can rent it out for. It's much more systemized for me, but it took me, a lot of stress to get there.
Yeah.
Now, are you willing to go through that? Can you avoid some of that stress? I'm sure you can. I was very naive. I didn't have mentors. I didn't have people guiding me. I didn't have much education. I just went and did it, right? If you you watch some more YouTube videos, you get some more education, maybe you find a good real estate agent that can guide you, you might be able to save a ton of time. You might be able to do it much faster and much better than what I did. I just know what I did.
Sure.
And so I don't want to guide someone to say, do this when that's not what I did.
And are you considered a real estate professional too then, where you can write off essentially all your taxes?
So technically I am, because I'm also a licensed real estate agent.
Wow.
So I went in, right? When I bought my first property, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I want to get more experienced. I don't know how to do that, right? YouTube did not have real estate education then. It was just books and I hated reading.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't know what to do. Let me go get my real estate license. So I got, I don't know, right? And so I was 20, I got my real estate license. I started selling real estate. I started helping people buy and sell real estate. And I also started wholesaling real estate because my broker, the boss in my office, she said, Jaspreet, you're the youngest agent in my office. Why are you doing this? I said, well, I'm in college. She said, then why are you here? She said, I said, I want to invest in real estate. I want to do this. I like real estate. I want to do this. And she's like, well, I teach real estate investing. Now, a lot of people call real estate investing things that it's not. Like she was calling real estate wholesaling, real estate investing, which I would disagree with.
What's the difference between wholesaling and investing?
So wholesaling is essentially you're flipping real estate. But
you're
not
buying and you sell 6 months later after you fix it up or whatever.
Yeah, but without actually buying the property, you enter into a contract to buy a property and you flip the contract.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit less risk, but it's essentially a form of flipping real estate. People call that real estate investing. I would not consider that investing. But I did that, and it was a way for me to start earning money. I met more people. I went to real estate conferences. I got fully immersed. That's just how I do things. When I want to do it, I go all into it. So I bought one property. I got my license. I started selling real estate. I got into wholesaling real estate, and then I did more of it. And so that's how I got in, and I met a lot of people.
So you've been a real estate professional for 10 years then, since you were 20, roughly?
A little more than 10 years, but yeah.
So does that mean you're able to pay zero tax as a real estate professional?
So it's not zero tax once your income crosses a certain threshold. But there are things that you can do if you qualify as a real estate professional.
Meaning 750 hours or something, or
if you
51%.
Right.
Yeah.
What that means is if you put in a lot of work into your real estate, you can qualify as a real estate professional on your taxes, and then you can get a bigger write-off on your real estate income.
Right.
That's essentially what that means. And so this is where you want to have a good accountant. to help you find the best deductions out there, because
Right.
the tax code is a rule book,
Sure.
which we will talk about when it comes to protecting your money,
Yes.
because there's a lot of things that comes to taxes that can help you save money in taxes legally. So real estate, are we good on real estate there?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so real estate investing is one way to actively invest. The stock market is another way. So we talked about passively investing in stocks, which is reinvesting in funds. Now it's the opposite, reinvesting in individual companies. You research companies, you look at earnings calls, you look at the financials, the balance sheet, the income statement, the profit and loss statement. You look at these things and then you make your decision. I like this company. I like the products. I like what they stand for. I believe in the future, and the numbers make sense.
Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're gonna love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video.
I think it's a good stock price now. I'll come in and buy. Most people try to do this without actually doing it. And this is where understanding that if you really want to succeed as an investor, you want to pick stocks, fine, nothing wrong with it. But understand that it will take work if you really want to see the success. Like Warren Buffett spends all day, every day, reading books, studying financials, looking at the numbers. That way he can come up with the best analysis for his companies that he wants to invest in. So it's
And he only has like 10 stocks to invest in.
yeah, he doesn't invest in 10,000 companies.
Yeah.
I mean, he invests in a small piece of, I don't know the exact number, but he has a small portfolio of companies that he actively manages. When I say manages, I mean he reads what these companies are doing. He reads the earnings calls. He's reading the numbers. He's analyzing. He's reading books. He's always learning, even today. So that's where now active investing is a way for you to be more involved. Now the question is, why would you pick one or the other? And this goes to now, how wealthy do you want to become, and how does that align with your goals? Because there's three factors that will determine how wealthy you will become. This is math. One is how long you invest your money for, the time. Two is what return you're getting on your money. And third is how much money you invest. We can't go back in time. You can't go back 10 years ago and start investing. So the best time to start is today. So time is out of the picture. When it comes to how much money you invest, we'll talk about how to earn more money in a second, but you can earn more money, that we have money to invest. The last factor that will determine how wealthy you become is what return you get. When you leave your cash in the bank, you're getting next to nothing, especially in a traditional bank. You're getting less than 1%. It's going to take you forever to double your money. So now the question is, how can you double your money faster? You need a better rate of return. How can you get a better rate of return? Well, you can be more involved with your investments. And so just understanding now risk versus reward. Higher risk means you have the potential for higher reward. Does it guarantee higher reward? No. I've lost money on my fair share of investments, even in my own business. Like your own business is the highest potential reward.
And the highest risk.
And the highest risk.
Yeah.
You know, I've made very bad business decisions, which lost me a lot of money. And
It's not fun.
it's not fun, but it's your tuition, right?
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
real life tuition, because I went through a lot of school. I had never learned a single thing about wealth or entrepreneurship from my school. So it's a matter of now, how do you learn? You learn by doing. And you will always keep learning. Like in the beginning, a $5,000 mistake, before that, a $500 mistake was like the end of the world. Then it was a $5,000 mistake. Then you go to a $50,000 mistake. Then wait till you make $500,000 mistakes,
it's the
right?
worst.
And that happens. And it's, you learn more things as you get bigger. And the more you grow, you're going to keep making mistakes. Just the dollar amounts get bigger. And that's how you learn. You keep learning. You keep going through this tuition. And so it's like you learn by doing that. Also keep reading books. I love reading books. I actually listen to audiobooks, but get books because there's a lot of knowledge in there. You just launched a new book. Read your new book.
The Greatest Mindset,
The Greatest Mindset. Definitely get that.
Check it out.
Watch YouTube videos, and then see, maybe you want some coaching from somebody. Maybe you invest in some other educational platforms when it's right for you. Like even with Market Insiders, I never tell anybody to buy who, one, doesn't have the money. If you can't afford it, do not buy it. This is only for the right people who are actually going to use that education. It's not expensive, but we want use the free education, and when you're ready for more handheld guidance, now you have more education there for you. So that's where now the active investing gives you an alternative to passive investing. That way now you can decide how involved you want to be for the return that you get. So now we talked about how to spend your money, right? We talked about how to grow your money.
Yep.
The third thing is how do you save your money the right way? And this is...
Should we save our money if it just sits in the bank and loses money based on interest rates going up and us essentially losing the money every day it sits in there, not earning as much as the interest rate?
Man, you like read my mind for me.
You know, that's what happens when you watch your show, you know?
When you save, you got to save your money strategically.
You got to have some money saved for
emergencies.
expenses, for a rainy day,
Yeah.
you know, be 6 months ahead, I'm assuming. Is that your strategy?
Exactly. You save strategically. I said somewhere between 3 to 12 months. And this is going to depend on where you are in life.
Yeah.
If you have no spouse, you have no kids, you are willing to take on a bunch of risk, maybe you only need a few months worth of savings. If you got a spouse, you have kids, you don't like taking on risk, now you can have 6, 12 months worth of expenses depending on where you are. But the big thing here is now, like, understanding really the difference between needs versus wants, assets versus liabilities, and not, I mean, it kind of ties in with spending, but it's not justifying liabilities as assets. Assets are something that put money in your pocket. Liabilities are things that cost you money. You need a car to get to and from work. You just want a Beamer. You need some clothes. You just want the Gucci.
Yeah.
You want a home. You need a home. You just want the mansion.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, where can you make sacrifices? And again, this is that decade of sacrifice that I was talking about. What are you willing to do? And this is where...
And know what season of life you're in. You know, it's like if you're trying to get out of debt, you're trying to get to a certain level of savings and investments, don't overspend on things that you don't need to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
You need clothes, but you don't need $1,000 suits every day. You need a car, like you said, but you can also take the bus and walk or ride a bike for a season of life, depending if you need to for a few months. You don't need, or you can buy a used car, you know what I mean, for a few grand and get around town.
What's most important to you at the time, right? Because I'm not saying don't buy nice things. I want you, like the whole purpose of understanding money is to live your life financially free and to do what's valuable to you. If you like nice cars, like I like nice cars, fine. Make sure you can afford it first.
Yes.
That capital A. You got to afford what you want. You want to go on vacations, fine. Like it really, really, things that like personally get to me is like when you see people come to you, like especially because now people come to me because they know like, hey, you talk about money, you've seen success with money. People that I know come to me and they say, hey man, like I'm struggling financially. And they'll lay out the situation and I feel very empathetic and I'll come up with a full plan for them. Here's what you can do to start improving your financial life. And then you see them go finance a new vacation. You see them go buy a brand new car. And it's like, we just had a call about you and I were like, you just said you're gonna go and sell your car, buy something used that is going to save you a lot of money. You have no more payments. And then you go and finance a brand new truck. Like, look, I want you to have that truck. Like, I got nothing against trucks. I'm from Detroit, right? Like, that's nice, cool. But I want you to be able to afford it, right? Being that smart consumer and a financially educated investor is so much more mental than it is financial. Just look at a financial sheet. Like, okay, this is the most you can spend. Now you figure out where you spend this money. That's the financial side of investing. The mental side is now, what are people going to think when you go from a BMW to a Camry?
Yeah.
And now people are like, hey, are you okay? Like, is your car in the shop? Like, no, this is my new car, right? And that's that tough part when people look at you like you lost your mind. And now what are you going to do at that point? Are you going to accept it and say, you know what? I am making a change in my life? Or are you going to give in and say, you know what, let's go on a vacation. We're never taught how to build wealth. We're never taught how to build passive income. We're never taught how to really build this stuff. We're taught to go to school and get a job and make some money. And then what do? We spend that money. And this is where now, if you can start thinking a little bit different, now you can start doing things differently. And a couple things you have to know is, for one,